stately homes of England, how beautiful they stand, to prove the upper classes have still the upper hand, though the fact that they have to be rebuilt and frequently mortgaged to the hilt is inclined to take the guilt off the gingerbread and certainly damps the fun of the eldest son. But still we won't be beaten, we'll scrimp and screw and save. The playing fields of Eton have made us frightfully brave, and though if the Van Dykes have to go and we pawn the Bechstein Grand, we'll stand by the stately homes of England.
This is Port Eliot, the home of Peregrine Eliot, the Earl of St. Germans. It's one of a dwindling number of stately homes which has never been opened to the public. The Port Eliot estate consists of 6,000 acres between the River Tamar and the Cornish coast. Now the 10th Earl of St. Germans, he inherited the estate in 1960 when he was just 19 and set about enjoying the life of the aristocratic playboy in London, New York and Cornwall. For a few years he held a series of festivals called the Elephant Fair in the grounds at Port Eliot, but the events were stopped after trouble with gate crashes. Lord St. Germans' life at Port Eliot is a sort of late 20th century version of the traditional aristocratic lifestyle. But aristocrats used to be public figures. They took centre stage in the national life. Now many of them have retreated behind closed doors. Lord St. Germans allowed his house and gardens to be filmed, but he preferred not to appear on camera himself. Now 56, he inherited the house and estate from his grandfather. He's been married twice and has 3 sons. The extent of his wealth is not clear. The house is vast, with 11 staircases and more than 60 rooms, but it is in a state of some decay. In 1995, the family Rembrandt was sold to the Getty Museum for about £5 million. Lord St. Germans suffers from emphysema and is waiting for a lung transplant. When he is alone, he spends much of the day surfing the internet in the morning room, where he also has his lunch.
Breakfast is at 9 o'clock. Lunch is at 1, and the cleaning of the house is done between those times. And lunch is at 1, and then afternoon tea at 5, and dinner at 8.
Same every day?
Every day.
And do you take breakfast to him in his room in the morning?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, breakfast is served on a tray in a adjoining room to his bedroom.
And then when does he get up?
Whenever he wants to, later in the day.
In the 120-foot round room, there's an extraordinary mural by the painter Robert Lenkiewicz. It includes many of Lord St. Germans' friends and relations. And over the door, an image of the Earl himself. Lord St. Germans did allow us to record his voice. This is how he described his life at Port Eliot.
It's hard to describe. It's very difficult to tell you exactly what I do. My time is filled with my mind wandering around in this beautiful place. I've buried a few dogs. I've planted some trees. Doing nothing is my specialist subject.
He keeps himself to himself. So in behind this wall is such, it's unknown.
Yeah, it's a mystery to
It's
them,
a
isn't it?
mystery.
It's a challenge to come in,
to get
in without being noticed or whatever.
Being called.
It's quite good fun chasing them out when you catch them, really.
Yeah.
I don't chat to him a lot, but if he talks, we'll talk back to him. And when he sees you in the garden anywhere, he puts his hand up to you, and it's always very polite.
St. Germans is not a recluse. He still has about 150 guests a year staying at Port Eliot. but he does relish being alone.
Absolutely wonderful. I can behave like the pig I am. I don't have to shave, and if I pick my toenails, nobody's going to watch. I can go to bed when I like. I can just do whatever I like. And as you know, I like to do nothing, but I can do it really sloppy if I want to. So it's a delight to be on my own.
Like his fellow peers, St. Germans' title gives him and his heirs the right to sit in the House of Lords. If a Labour government is elected, this hereditary privilege may finally end. But in the meantime, about 750 people enjoy a seat in Parliament by a simple accident of birth.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Lord Chancellor.
Among the hereditary peers, 15 support Labour and 321 are Tories. 12 of them are in the present government. Most of the rest are crossbenchers. Britain is the only Western democracy still to have a hereditary element in its parliament. The aristocracy may no longer be a ruling class, but some of St. Germans' fellow peers are active legislators. Unlike them, he has only ever attended on a handful of occasions and has never spoken in a debate. While many hereditary peers are patrons of charities and sit on the boards of companies and quangos, St. Germans does not seek any public position. He is content with the role of private landlord.
I improve properties and let them out, and do them up and improve them and increase the rent. I understood it was going to be my property when I was about 16, and I've been king of the castle ever since.
The aristocracy has always enjoyed two great advantages: influence in public affairs and a large country house. Since the 1970s, they have been involved in a struggle to maintain both. Some of those who inherit stately homes go to enormous lengths to preserve the family house and estate. Sir Jocelyn Gore Booth divides his time between County Durham, where he lives, and Sligo in the west of Ireland, where he inherited his family property, Lissadell.
Well, Nicholas, how are you? Yep, nice to see you again.
In 1976, Sir Jocelyn took over responsibility for the family estate when his father and aunts could no longer manage it. With his agent, Nicholas Prince, he's trying to turn the place around.
Look at it, you better tell me what he...
Well, I mean, as you know, the idea is to see if we can get the old riding school back in commission, not as a riding school, but as a storage shed.
The family once had 30,000 acres and a thriving home farm. With just 400 acres left, the challenge is to make it a going concern again. There's now a clam farm on the estate.
And we've also just got the lease sorted out because there's the production company and then there's the breeding company, Lisdale Shellfish Company. And about 3 weeks ago, they gave me their final decision, so
Good.
We're just getting the lease redrawn up to accommodate that.
Good.
Watch the loose capping stones.
Yes.
Because they...
It's better not to look too hard.
They haven't been...
Sir Jocelyn's efforts to restore the house are a labour of love.
I can't remember when I last came up. Have I been up so far this year? I didn't think I
No,
have.
you haven't been up since we stopped working the last autumn.
It's cost more than £60,000 to repair the roof alone.
Having done the parapet
Yes.
last year, it is actually now not leaking at all. But we're going to go next week, actually, Paddy and Willie,
Yeah.
we're going to open up round the access point and do all that area.
Good.
Sir Jocelyn's father lived in the house with his sisters and then alone, until he died last year, making Sir Jocelyn the 9th baronet.
Are there any privileges or responsibilities specifically of being a hereditary baronet?
I'm pleased to say none whatsoever. Nothing at all.
But you still use the title and welcome having the title?
Yes, I suppose I do. It's always rather nice when people address you as Sir Jocelyn. But my wife, I think, takes a different view. She'd rather just be Mrs.
Do you regret that the family never had a peerage?
Of course I do, yes. It'd be lovely to be you calling me my lord and this sort of thing, but...
And you'd have relished sitting in the House of Lords? And
Well, those are my friends and relations who do seem to enjoy it, so I can't believe that I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd love to perform some useful role if I was capable of doing so in public life, but nobody's yet asked me to, so I'm happy to do my own thing. Now I'm going to show you something that I really enjoy. This was my grandparents' bedroom, and I hope that one day it will become our kitchen. But as you can see, there's quite a lot to be done, and you may not believe it, but I have actually spent several days tidying this room, and I suspect if I was here for 6 months, it still wouldn't be finished. But there is everything in here. There are old clothes, papers, photographs, furniture, books. I even found, to my considerable satisfaction, in this old chest, a bottle of Irish whiskey, guaranteed 15 years old. Now, my grandfather died in 1944, so that must be 60